get this started. One question, how many employees do we have? During the peak of the season, we'll have somewhere between 20 to, maybe 25 this year, really depends. One of the other questions I had is what program do you use? And I could talk about this forever. We use Service Autopilot. I love Service Autopilot. If you look on my computer, try not to shake this around too much, but literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just millions of tabs for Service Autopilot. It has helped our business so much. I always have got our company's KPI up, which is the information you need to know about your company. That's what I love about Service Autopilot. I've got something that I'm refreshing right now that it says new leads. This is the dead of the season. New leads this week. Currently there is 7 new leads this week. That is 75% up from last week. This is all live information that as our office puts in, we can see how many payments we've received this month versus last month. It tells me how much we've invoiced this month versus last month at this time. How many new clients this month versus last month. Our total income, the trailing 3 months, gives me my trailing 3 months if I owe anything. And this is the other deal about Service Autopilot that I preach to people, or just charging cards on file. So November 2019, we are 99.77% paid. I don't even know what's unpaid. It's something super tiny. It's probably something irrelevant, or there's a reason that we've got it on hold anyway. As of up to date in January, we are 89.8% paid. So we stay that paid up on all things. So we never get behind. There's no aging receivables. And that's really because of how we use Service Autopilot. Best advice for starting a business was one of the questions. There's so many things to think about. You got to know that you can never quit. If you're the type of person that, like, when it gets hard, what you want to do is like turn around and go do something else. That's not going to work for starting a business. I'll hear people talk about wanting to get into it because of a more flexible schedule, less work overall, or whatever. And that's not the case. I mean, if you're wanting to build something, and really depending on, it takes a lot of juice, it takes a lot of energy. With that being said, know what mental fortitude you're going to need to have going into it, and then learn. You didn't learn anything. Oh, my wife has told me to stop clicking my pen. Like I was saying, you don't learn much in school about business, especially if you're just going to standard school and you're not going to some kind of business school. You need to educate yourself. You need to start reading books. You need to if you get out there and start a business, you need to get Audible on your phone. You need to download books like Profit First from Mike Michalowicz, Rich Dad Poor Dad series books, Grant Cardone stuff for sales, Gary Vee's stuff, Tony Robbins stuff. Just learn from everybody and anyone and try to get as much information as possible so you can really decipher and use that to grow your business. Because I hear people talk about not knowing how to price services and not knowing how little money they were making and not knowing this and not knowing that. And I mean, that's due to lack of education. All the information you could ever want in the world is out there. Hey, what's going on, Jar? One of our goals this year is to really get organized with our bookkeeping. Yes, huge, amazing goal. Keeping track of your bookkeeping, understanding your profit and loss, and making sure it's actually structured right. When you get QuickBooks, it's technically not structured right. Your labor out in the field's not put in. It's put in down as an overhead cost when it's technically cost of goods sold. A bunch of different little things like that. And then staying up on books it can be a challenge. It's a challenge for us. We failed on it last year. We got a plan to not fail on this year so we can stay up to point, because as you grow a business, I used to use like Profit First business management for money. And as you grow a business, we're gonna start doing a lot more operating our business based off of our cash flow projections and our cash flow statement. So yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, staying up on accounting, that's something, and he brings up a good point that I just embedded myself in learning about accounting, because numbers, I'm a numbers freak. I mean, I think you've got a huge upside if you're a numbers freak, because you can be so passionate, you can be an artist, and you can care about what you do, and you can care so much about, I've got an artist as an employee, and he cares so much about what he does and how perfect it is and everything. And that is great. It'll ruin a business. Artists, like Tony Robbins is an artist. If you ever listen to him speak, he'll say how passionate he was about speaking, and he didn't even care about the money. He just wanted to have this effect on people. And it almost broke him, because as passionate as you can be and as artistic as you can be, and as much as you can care about the craft, numbers are what make it go around. There's that artist side and there's an entrepreneur side, and the entrepreneur side cares about the money, understands the numbers, and goes from how do we produce this profitably profitably and then move to the next piece and produce it profitably. So it's a big mix. Then I was going to answer, how do you stay motivated? Man, I've always just been like an obsessive style person. When I get into something, I have some really big purposes in life, some really big goals. You know, it's my goals and my purpose of providing for others, providing for my family, living an amazing life, creating jobs for employees, not letting my employees down. All these like goals and purposes that I have already kind of set forth for myself that keep me motivated. They're when I like am sick or when I feel like crap and I don't want to do it. They're what keeps me coming in and make sure I'm producing and gives me a reason that even when it's scary, because that's, you know, we talked about. What's up?
Oh, sorry. I need to
Hold on. Zoe's coming in. Grab the measuring wheel out of my car.
Okay.
It's in the back seat.
Cool, thank you.
And then I've just got to clean that out before I go because I'm going to just leave it here. You don't have to take me home. Nicole's going to take me home.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Cool. But yeah, I was going on about how to stay motivated is those reasons and those purposes that keep me going, that keep me showing up, that make it even when I feel bad, even when I don't want to do it, even when I'm scared, they keep me pushing anyway. Financial pressures or sales pressures or there not being enough work, it makes me want to keep pushing. And I've always been really fired by those goals, so they really make it easy. Thank you.
Yep.
Good luck. Sell it.
I'll sell it.
What jobs do you do in the winter? Okay, so right now it's really nice here still. It has been unbelievable, beautiful. So we are still, right now we're out doing a landscape project. We were doing an erosion and riprap excavation project last week. We were doing cleanups and Christmas light takedowns earlier this week. A little bit of everything. We're working almost any conditions to try to keep people working. So we have dropped all of our snow plowing and we've moved into, I've always, I like construction and I think all construction is interesting. We've started to do remodeling as well. So we've got two pretty major remodeling projects going on right now. We already build stuff. We're already doing construction. So it just made sense for us. And I hate snow plowing. I hate snow plowing. I know you can make a lot of money. So Billy asked, I followed you closely when you were building a lawn care business in Florida. Whatever came of that? Man, so I'm leaving for vacation to go back there today. We're going back to Cape Coral, Florida. We're staying for 2 weeks. I love the area. And whatever happened to the businesses, we had two people managing this business here. It was the biggest, most stressful stretch and try I wanted to do in business yet. It was going really, really well in Florida. That's what infuriates me the most about the whole thing is we were growing really fast. I would say in the first year in Florida, we were on a tick for our first full year to probably, I have no doubt in my mind that we could have done 200,000 in sales first year easy in Florida because it's just so booming down there. It just seemed like it was so easy to grow. But so the people that we had in charge back here, really what happened is I just never expected it to be this way. It seemed like they wanted to run the business differently. And like I said, I'm obsessed. I push. I want things to go. I want to keep things rocking. I'm focused on getting a project in, getting it finished correctly and profitably, and getting on to the next one while keeping customers happy. And it just seemed like it was a whole different focus. So when I was pushing and leaning into growing things and getting them started off on the season correctly, there was a lot of pushback to the point of eventually one resigned and then one told me that he wouldn't leave us hanging. He'd always let us know what was going on, la da 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 da. He told me this at probably 6 o'clock in the evening one night. The next morning, he didn't show up. He had a project that only he knew about that we were loading up to go do. It was one of our bigger projects at the time. Yeah. He wouldn't answer his phone, wouldn't do anything. And I was in Florida and we had a big project going on back home. And it was just gonna be too big of a stretch without help that had been really seasoned because we have too much going on here in Springfield to leave the team hanging. You know, we got an office here in Springfield. We got a lot of employees here. And even though we were gonna do a lot in sales and it was growing fast, we still didn't have that much in Florida yet. You know, it wasn't established. So would I wanna do it again? Would love to do it again. How did you deal with the Florida heat? Laugh out loud. Oh, hey, Green Rhythm. Thanks for commenting, man. Green Rhythm asked, how did you deal with the Florida heat and ever think you'll try to expand into Florida again? I was just getting ready to say that, but I'd love to expand into Florida again. When I go back to Cape Coral this afternoon, this evening, it's gonna feel like going back home because it was kind of home to me. I love the place. I know most northerners and stuff would have a hard time with this. I love heat. I am a heat freak. I hate the cold. That's half of why I hate snow plowing, besides all the scheduling BS that goes in with it. And August heat in Florida, I'll take it all day long, every day. Love it. Can't go on enough about the Florida thing. That I wish that would have turned out differently. I wish I was farther along here with a bigger management team. In a year or two's time, I would say we could go anywhere and do anything in a different area because it's going to be running smooth enough here.